It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both.
Hi, I'm Rupha Ramani, and first of all, here's wishing all of you watching us a very, very happy new year. Welcome to a very special edition of First Sports. You're watching First Sports Rewind 2023. And we have to look at the sporting personalities who stamped their class on the world stage and announced their dominance in the year 2023. And we have to start that list with none other than Novak Djokovic. The man has defied age, competition, and has proved that he is going to overhaul every single fact that has existed in the world of tennis. Sure, he may have lost the exhibition match recently to the young sensation and his biggest contender now, Carlos Alcaraz. But if someone says they want to play well over 40, you better take that person very, very seriously. For breaking multiple records this year and reiterating his hold as world number one, our first sports person of the year, Novak Djokovic.
Novak Djokovic has called 2023 one of his best years in his tennis career. The Serbian broke multiple records, and the 36-year-old Djokovic is extremely proud of his achievements. Throughout the year, Djokovic has been in hungry mode. He says that the age doesn't stop him and that he wants to win more titles. This is what Djokovic said back in July.
I don't feel more relaxed, to be honest. I still feel hungry for success, for more Grand Slams, for more achievements in tennis, and as long as there's that drive, I know that I'm able to compete at the highest level. If that goes down, then I guess I'll have to face probably different circumstances and have a different approach. But so far, there's still the drive.
Djokovic's drive has continued throughout the year. He won his 24th Grand Slam and surpassed his rival Rafael Nadal. The Serbian also left Roger Federer behind after winning the 7th ATP title of his career. Here's a look at the year that Djokovic had. He won 56 matches this year. The Serbian only lost 7 times to his opponents. Djokovic also won 3 out of the 4 majors this year. These were the Australian Open, the French Open and the US Open. He also won his 7th ATP Finals title of his career in 2023, setting a new record for most ATP titles. This year, Djokovic ended the season ranked world number 1, something he has now done a record 8 times in his career. And that's not all. Djokovic also spent over 400 weeks ranked world number 1. And all of this happened in 2023. Clearly, it was the year of Djokovic, even though that's not how the year started. In the beginning of the year, it was Carlos Alcaraz who was dominating the courts. The 20-year-old Spaniard was being touted as the next Rafael Nadal, until Djokovic took the game away from Alcaraz and almost everyone else. And things are already heating up even before the next season has begun. After being away from the court for a year with back injury, Rafael Nadal has announced his comeback. He will compete in the Australian Open in January 2024. Along with Nadal, Alcaraz is also aware of the Djokovic threat.
Yes, totally. I think 2024 with the Olympics is going to be a special year for everybody. For the players, for the athletes, for the people who love sports, and obviously Djokovic. I think he has shown year after year that he is ready to win the 4 slams, that he is ready to win the gold. But well, we are here to stop him, aren't we? And obviously with many other players who are capable of beating him, of fighting for Grand Slams and major titles. I think it's going to be a very, very intense 2024.
It's starting to look like 2024 season is going to be Djokovic versus everyone. But that's the kind of environment Djokovic thrives in. The Serbian likes competition, and Djokovic is not somebody who will go down without a fight.
The next person has come out of nowhere to reclaim what she always believed was truly hers. Hers is a comeback story for the ages. She's fought mental challenges to come back even stronger. Gymnast Simone Biles started off as a world beater, winning gold medals in every event she entered. Her mental health forced her to take a very long break away from the sport in 2019. She came back in the middle of the year 2023 and it felt like she never left. She broke record after record and there is no stopping her. Her target is Paris Olympics and she is not flinching.
As soon as Simone Biles stepped into the gymnastics arena, everyone knew a legend was born. What else can describe this list? This is just the list of the golds that she has pocketed in various events at the World Championships every time she participated. There were also the 2016 Olympics haul that we haven't added in here. She has been simply unbeatable. But the one thing that stands out, of course, is a massive gap between 2019 and 2023. Simone Biles fought mental health issues that forced her to stay away from the game for more than 2 years. She put a pause on her game owing to twisties, a psychological phenomenon that couldn't get her to compete. It was a very difficult period in her life. Now when she looks back, she talks about the change that she has brought in to be able to get back to where she truly belongs, right at the top.
So yeah, I still enjoy it, probably more than before, because I realize at the end of the day, it's just gymnastics and I have my whole life ahead of me. Rather than, again, whenever I was 19, it was just like, it was the end of the world if I had bad days. And now I'm just like, it's okay. It's just gymnastics. I'll come back tomorrow and we'll get it started again.
When Simone Biles did start again, it was like she had never left. She came back with a vigor. She marked her comeback at the 2023 US Classic. She completed all her events with a combined score that was 5 points ahead of the runner-up. She then targeted the national championships. She won a record 8th nationals title. And we saw what she did at the World Championships thereafter.
I think next year is obviously a very big year, so we have to focus a little bit differently on just on being a little bit more clean and technique. But as a start coming back, I don't think it's bad.
Simone is gearing up for an exciting year ahead. The challenges will only be more steep, but she has overcome so much already that a few more hurdles will not impede her.
Now, this story is slightly different. If Novak Djokovic had to fend off younger competitors all through the year, Simone Biles had to fight personal challenges to come out on top. This man's biggest battle was with himself. Max Verstappen set the racetracks on fire in 2023. There was him and then the rest. There's no record that he didn't break. If I had to start rattling off the records he broke in 2023 alone, I wouldn't have enough time left on the show. In the Red Bull driver's seat, there was no podium that Max Verstappen didn't finish on. At 26, he's already reset plenty of Formula One record books and is on the way to greatness.
If you're a Formula One fan, speed, cornering and photo finishes must excite you. Because every F1 race always has jostles and tussles between the racers. This year, there were many close finishes. Racers were constantly trying to one-up each other to decide who would finish second and third. That's right, because there was one racer who just never let go of the number one spot. We're talking about Red Bull's Max Verstappen. The 26-year-old lit fire to the tracks. Throughout the season, there was Verstappen and then everyone else. It seemed like he almost did not have any competition. So how big was 2023 for Verstappen and Red Bull? Verstappen was crowned world champion this year. He ended the season with 19 victories off the 22 circuits he raced on. Verstappen broke at least 18 F1 records this year. We won't touch on all of them, but here are the biggest ones. Verstappen had 19 wins in 2023, the most an F1 racer has ever had in a season. His win rate was over 85%. He had the most number of back-to-back wins with 10 circuits. Out of the 22 races that Verstappen took part in, he had 21 podium finishes. He also had the highest F1 score in history with 575 points. These were just some of the big records that Verstappen broke. In addition, he became the first F1 racer to win 3 times in a single country. This was after he won 3 circuits in the US, in Miami, Austin and Vegas. Statistically, Verstappen had the greatest Formula One season in the sport's history. So how did Verstappen do it, and will he continue his monstrosity next year? Verstappen started racing at a very early age, and he got the knack of racing from his parents. At the age of 4, he was driving racing go-karts. By 7, he had already participated in a go-karting race. In 2015, he made his F1 debut, and within a year, he joined Red Bull Racing. It's almost like he was made for racing, and Verstappen has got the mindset of a winner. He knows that he had one of the most phenomenal seasons in racing history, but Verstappen says he can do better.
I don't think, you can talk about percentages or whatever, but for sure there are always, things that we can do better. We know that. Of course, the car has been very, very dominant, but we've also, seen a few, let's say, weaknesses in the car, which I think we can do better, and that's what we're of course working on for next year.
And he's already raring to go in 2024. He says that there's always some room for improvement and that the competition will eventually catch up.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, of course, it can't be much better than what we have achieved. But I think it's not always about, trying to win 20 races. It's also about just trying to find improvements within yourself, within the car. And if that means next year, we have improved the car and we can fight for the championship again, but you only win 10 races, that's also fine, It's just been also that, the competition around us has been quite up and down. One weekend it was this team, then the other week it was another team. So I expect next year, people are learning a lot with this new regulation as well, that it naturally will be, quite a bit closer.
Will Verstappen's dominance continue next year? Well, it's a question that will only be answered on the tracks. But that shouldn't mean that 2023 is forgotten, because what Verstappen and Red Bull did was nothing short of extraordinary. We might just be witnessing not only one of the greatest to ever sit behind the F1 wheel, but also a partnership that has struck gold all through the year.
My next superstar is a personal favorite. She's the youngest in the list of sportspersons who conquered 2023. She's a captain of her side, and her rise to the top has inspired many back home in her town in Spain. Aitana Bonmati not only won the Ballon d'Or this year for her stunning football achievements in the year 2023, but she has emerged as a leader in the world of football, representing women's rights and reiterating how powerful passion for a sport can be. She made it from Rubiales onto Barcelona FC, and clearly there was no looking back.
Aitana Bonmati has risen to the leader she truly is because of the kind of childhood she had. She played quite a few sports growing up, like basketball and swimming, but football won her heart. At 7, Aitana was the only girl in her town's football club, CD Ribes Boys Club, that had 400 boys. Her parents always encouraged her to fight the stereotypes and play with her heart, and that's what she did. Her big break came when she made it to Barcelona FC. The facilities for the women footballers there was literally nothing compared to their male counterparts, but Aitana made it every day, travelling more than 23 miles. Barcelona was the ladder that she climbed. She was voted Catalan Player of the Year in 2019. Throughout 2020-2021, Aitana Bonmati was critical to Barcelona's fortunes.
Well, there is no debate about Aitana's right. Everything she has won, the way she played. Her importance in the game is spectacular. She has a signature style. The way she turns and faces the ball, she plays with both feet. It is spectacular to watch her play. I am friends with her, so I am really happy for her.
For Spain, she featured in the under-17, under-19 and under-20 squads. She then transitioned to the senior side in 2017 and never looked back. She was part of the 2019 and World Cup and 2022 Women's Euro. The 2023 Women's World Cup was pivotal for her and Spain. They won the World Cup for the first time. Aitana Bonmati won the Golden Ball, and the leader in her emerged this year. The Ballon d'Or winner as well, Aitana Bonmati is becoming a leader and an inspirational talent, and she's just 25. The biggest proof of that? 6 years ago, there were no girl players in her town of Ribes. Now there are 180 across 14 teams, and their biggest hero is Aitana Bonmati.
Our last spotlight is on Indian superstars who redefined the year 2023. Topping that list is, of course, one man who's the most followed in the country. Every time he steps onto the field, everyone's eyes are on him. Virat Kohli set the stage on fire in 2023 as well and surmounted an near impossible record. He was the fastest to 50 ODI centuries, surpassing his own mentor and legendary Sachin Tendulkar in the process. But it wasn't just him. There are many Indian athletes who made this year their very own, putting India up on the global stage and making a mark internationally.
When you think of the Indian men's cricket team, there's one player who has become the poster boy, and that is Virat Kohli. The flick of the wrist for a 4, the gentle lifted cover drive for a 6, and the fiery aggression when fielding, that has been Virat Kohli's year. Just looking at the one-day internationals that Kohli played, one can see the phenomenal performance he displayed throughout the year. Kohli played 27 ODI matches in 2023. He scored over 1,300 runs, with his best score being unbeaten at 166. Kohli averaged over 70 runs every game, and he also broke Sachin Tendulkar's record of the highest ODI centuries. During the ODI World Cup semi-final match against New Zealand in Mumbai, Kohli scored his 50th ODI century. A record that will be remembered by generations to come, as he looked up to the master he had surpassed, applauding him from the stands. Kohli has entered the record books of cricketing greats. 2023 has been a truly remarkable year for the boy from Delhi. From the Delhi boy to the boy from Haryana. Neeraj Chopra has been unstoppable with the javelin. He dominated the global stage during the 2020 Tokyo Olympics in 2022. Chopra won India the first track and field gold medal at the Olympic Games. And this year was no different for the track star. In 2023, Chopra won a gold at the World Athletics Championships. He again made it to the record books by becoming the first Indian to do so. Chopra was also crowned the Asian champion when he won a gold at the Asian Games. Despite all the umpire drama that went down at the Asian Games and Chopra having to throw the javelin in extra time, the athlete did not lose his smile after the fiasco. He's now focusing on the 2024 Paris Olympics and will take to the practice arena in January 2024. There was one Indian athlete that left her mark on everyone. A 16-year-old girl from Jammu and Kashmir. Her name is Sheetal Devi. She was born with Phocomelia syndrome, a rare disorder which kept her upper limbs underdeveloped. But Devi had other plans for herself. She had a knack for the bullseye from a very young age, and officials of the Indian Army saw what Devi could do with a bow and arrow. In a few years, she was included in the national para archery team. She won a silver at the World Para Championships earlier in the year, but Devi scripted history at the Asian Games. She became the first Indian woman to win 2 gold medals in a single edition of the Para Asian Games. Devi shot bullseye after bullseye, with the bow being held with her feet and the pull string being released from her shoulder. You have to see it to believe it. It will leave you in all kinds of awe. Devi is now ranked world number 1 in para archery. She has been nominated for the Arjuna Award, which is India's second highest sporting prize. Devi will now become the youngest woman from a country to compete in para archery at the 2024 Paris Olympics. Here's to Sheetal Devi and to the remarkable achievements that many more Indian athletes are on the cusp of realizing, like badminton duo Chirag Shetty and Satvik Rankireddy, or chess siblings R. Vaishali and Praganananda.
And looking back at the year that was always brings back magical moments rushing through. If you've watched any of it, you will cherish it for years to come. And we are bringing to you moments of triumph, seminal moments that have defined sports this year in 2023. It has been a big year for women in sports. It has been a big year for esports. And of course, it was also the year of World Cups. And we have all of it covered. We're bringing you the magnificent moments from around the world of sports. There are stories of super comebacks, stories of the most impossible individual performances that will stand the test of time, and much more. Here's looking back at 2023.
It was the 28th minute. Olga Carmona was given a rolling pass into the penalty box, and a neat finish from a left foot saw the ball back into the net. 70 minutes later, Spain were crowned world champions as they beat England 1-0. This was Spain's first ever Women's World Cup, and nothing could have ruined it except for this man, Luis Rubiales. Spain were enjoying their World Cup win. They were dancing with their coach, and then the Football Federation chief Rubiales joined the festivities too. But instead of celebrating the win, he forcefully kissed Jenni Hermoso on her lips, taking away the spotlight from the women's team performance. There was a massive outrage across the world. There were protests in Spain. Rubiales was sacked and then banned from football for 3 years. Hermoso had to lay low for a while and was almost sidelined from the national team's call-up. It was this moment that put the highlight on creating a safe space for women athletes. World number 1 Novak Djokovic was all set to win the Davis Cup for his country, Serbia. He was carrying on with his good form after winning the ATP Masters, except there was an Italian who was plotting to be spoilsport. And that's exactly what Jannik did. 22-year-old Sinner beat Djokovic in singles and also won the doubles match. Sinner led Italy to win their first Davis Cup since 1976, and he instantly became a hero in Italy.
It's a thrill, and then it's beautiful. Sinner is at the top right now, so it's a beautiful moment.
Sinner will now be back in court against Djokovic in January next year. The two could face each other in the Australian Open. The IPL auction just ended and we saw some record-breaking numbers. Mitchell Starc became the costliest player in IPL auction history. Starc will now play for the Kolkata Knight Riders, and there's one power player in the Kolkata team that deserves a mention. It is Rinku Singh. During a group stage between Gujarat Titans and the Kolkata Knight Riders, Rinku Singh was on crease in the final over. Kolkata needed 28 runs to win from 5 deliveries. It was Yash Dayal of the Gujarat Titans who was tasked to stop Rinku Singh. But what we saw was an onslaught of sixes. The left-handed batter smashed the ball out of the ground one after the other. Rinku Singh managed to pull off 5 big ones in a row to see Kolkata to an unbelievable victory and carve one of the most stunning cameos in IPL history. It was the third quarter. The Los Angeles Lakers were trailing behind the Oklahoma City Thunder. The ball was with LeBron James, who shot a fadeaway to score 2 points. At that moment, LeBron broke Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record and became the highest scorer in NBA history. And what a moment it was, because Abdul-Jabbar was present on the sidelines and immediately went up to LeBron to congratulate him. The Laker was given a standing ovation, for LeBron had broken a record that dates back almost 40 years. LeBron now has over 39,000 points and has no plans on slowing down anytime soon, reiterating the legend that he is turning out to be. As we say goodbye to this year, there's one comeback story that cannot be slept on. During the 5,000-meter race at the Asian Games, Indian runner Parul Chaudhary was in second place when the bell for the final lap was rung. Chaudhary was trailing Japan's Hironaka Ririka and was almost tried to stride with her. There was a point when the Japanese runner created a sizable lead over Chaudhary. The Japanese runner entered the final 100-meter with a lead. It was at that moment that Parul Chaudhary did the unthinkable. She sprinted like her life depended on it. Nearing the finish line, Chaudhary gave in a sudden burst that no one saw coming, nudging past the Japanese runner. It was a sight that gave goosebumps to everyone watching. Parul's adrenaline push won her and India the gold in the 5,000-meter race. If there's inspiration you need to enter the new year, take it from Parul Chaudhary. From Pat Cummins leading Australia to victory at the ODI World Cup, to South Africa winning Rugby World Cup, 2023 surely was a year for sporting champions.
Now, we hope you enjoyed our picks for the sporting moments that we think defined 2023 and the people who made it that much more special. All I can say is I can't wait for what 2024 will bring with it. Till then, of course, you take care. Here's wishing you a very happy new year once more. I'll see you next year.